Captain Theo Marsden's shuttle descended into the heart of the Galactic Council's massive space station, orbiting a neutral star at the edge of contested territories. The station, a marvel of engineering, served as a diplomatic haven and meeting ground for the galaxy's myriad races. Its spires and arches gleamed against the backdrop of deep space, a symbol of unity and cooperation amidst the sprawling universe. Theo, a seasoned diplomat from Earth, felt a mix of excitement and apprehension as his shuttle docked. The airlock hissed open, revealing the bustling interior of the station. Delegates from various star systems, some humanoid, others far from it, moved through the corridors. Their forms varied wildly, from the towering, crystalline structures of the silicoids to the shimmering gaseous orbs of the nebulites. As he stepped into the grand atrium, Theo was acutely aware of the curious glances cast his way. Humanity was still a newcomer to the Galactic Council, and their role in interstellar politics was viewed with a blend of skepticism and intrigue. The human penchant for diplomacy and conflict resolution was about to be tested on a stage far grander than any Earthbound conflict. Theo was met by his liaison, a protocol droid named Rax-3, designed to assist with diplomatic duties. "Welcome, Captain Marsden," the droid chimed in a neutral tone. "Your attendance has been scheduled in the main council chamber within the hour. Many are eager to hear Earth's perspective on the recent disputes." The captain nodded, straightening his uniform. "Thank you, Rax-3. Lead the way, and let's make sure we present our case clearly. It's not just about being heard, it's about being understood." As they walked through the corridors, Theo reviewed his notes one last time. His mission was clear: to propose a peaceful resolution to the impending war over Zelthar, a planet rich in resources but mired in territorial disputes. His approach needed to be tactful yet assertive, showcasing Earth's unique capabilities in fostering dialogue and de-escalating conflicts. Reaching the council chamber's towering doors, Theo took a deep breath. The doors parted, and he stepped inside, under the gaze of the galaxy's most powerful leaders. This was his moment to prove that humanity could not only participate in galactic affairs, but could be instrumental in guiding them towards peace. The vast council chamber was a circular arena, with seating tiers that ascended towards a transparent dome, revealing the cosmos beyond. The delegates, a kaleidoscope of alien forms, were already in heated discussion as Theo entered. He made his way to the human-designated area, a modest section slightly apart from the more influential species' grander seats. As Theo settled in, the current speaker, a robust Vormith with 4 arms and a voice that resonated through the chamber, was making a forceful case for military intervention on Zelthar. "We cannot allow these disputes to fester," the Vormith declared, its voice echoing off the metallic walls. "A show of strength is the only language these contenders will understand." Theo listened intently, noting the factions that nodded in agreement and those who seemed hesitant. It was clear that the older, more dominant races favored a swift and decisive resolution to assert their power dynamics, even if it meant war. When the floor opened for new speakers, Theo stood. His human stature was less imposing than many of the other species, but his voice carried a calm authority that drew the room's attention. "Esteemed delegates," he began, his gaze sweeping across the room, "I propose an alternative approach that might serve not only to resolve the immediate conflict over Zelthar, but also to set a precedent for how we handle such disputes in the future." Murmurs filled the chamber as Theo continued. "What if, instead of deploying our fleets, we explore joint exploration initiatives? Each concerned party could contribute to a coalition tasked with the planet's scientific and economic assessment. This way, we ensure that Zelthar's resources are used for the benefit of all, not just those who can seize them by force." A skeptical laugh came from a delegate of the Skrell, a reptilian race with keen strategic minds. "Captain Marsden, while your human optimism is commendable, it overlooks the basic nature of power. Why would any race with the strength to claim Zelthar outright agree to share it?" Theo met the Skrell's gaze, unflinching. "Because, respected delegate, in the long run, cooperation can be more profitable than conflict. War drains resources, both material and political. A shared venture, on the other hand, not only preserves resources, but also builds alliances and mutual trust that are worth far more. The room buzzed with mixed reactions. Some delegates seemed intrigued by Theo's proposal, while others appeared dismissive, doubting a human's understanding of complex galactic affairs. The president of the council, a wise old Thalotian known for her impartiality, finally intervened. "Captain Marsden's proposal is indeed unconventional," she said thoughtfully, "but let us not dismiss it out of hand. I suggest we table it for now and invite further discussion in smaller committees." After the council meeting, Theo was keenly aware of the need to build alliances and gather support for his peace proposal. The challenge was daunting, but he was resolute. The corridors of the space station buzzed with chatter and diplomatic negotiations as Theo navigated through, his mind focused on potential allies. In the station's sprawling garden dome, a place designed for quiet reflection and informal talks, Theo found Lyra, the Illyran delegate. The Illyrans, known for their empathic abilities and peaceful nature, could be crucial allies. Lyra, with her feline features and graceful movements, was sitting by a simulated waterfall, seemingly lost in thought. "Lyra," Theo greeted her, approaching with a respectful nod. "May I join you?" Lyra looked up, her eyes reflecting a serene calm. "Captain Marsden, of course. I was contemplating your proposal. It's quite the departure from the usual rhetoric in the council." "That's precisely why I need support from those who can see its potential," Theo replied, settling next to her. The Illyran's reputation for fairness and insight could lend much-needed credibility to the initiative. Lyra's tail flicked contemplatively. "You propose a path of cooperation over conflict, something very much in line with Illyran philosophy. However, convincing the council, especially the dominant races, will require more than just a shared vision. We need a strategy that addresses their interests and concerns." Theo nodded, aware of the complexity. "I was hoping you might help in navigating these waters. Your understanding of the council's dynamics could be invaluable. We could start by identifying delegates who, like us, suffer more from galactic conflicts than they gain," Lyra suggested. "These races, often overlooked, might see your proposal as a chance to elevate their standing and influence." "Exactly my thought," Theo agreed. "And perhaps we could also highlight the economic benefits of peace. A stable Zelthar could become a hub of commerce and research, benefiting all." Lyra smiled, a gesture filled with warmth and promise. "I will help you, Captain. Let's organize a series of informal meetings here, in the Garden Dome. It's neutral ground and might encourage more open dialogue." Grateful for her support, Theo felt a renewed sense of hope. "Thank you, Lyra. With your help, maybe we can turn the tide." Over the next few days, Theo and Lyra worked closely, hosting small gatherings in the Garden Dome. They spoke of potential, of prosperity, and of peace, weaving a narrative that appealed to the diverse interests of the council's members. Slowly, their list of supporters began to grow, each new ally adding strength to their cause. As Theo and Lyra's coalition of peace began to take shape, their efforts were suddenly rocked by an unexpected crisis. An explosion rocked the council's space dock, where diplomatic vessels from various systems were berthed. The blast was powerful, damaging several ships and causing immediate chaos among the council members. Theo rushed to the scene, his heart pounding as he navigated through the panicked crowd. Emergency services were already swarming the area, and the air was thick with smoke and the sharp scent of ionized metal. The damage was extensive, but thankfully there were no fatalities. Only minor injuries. "This looks deliberate," Lyra noted grimly, joining Theo among the crowd of onlookers. Her sensitive whiskers twitched in the smoky air. "Someone wants to escalate tensions, not resolve them." Theo frowned, his mind racing. "We need to find out who is behind this and why. This could derail everything we've been working towards." As they spoke, Rax 3 approached, its sensors blinking rapidly. "Captain Marsden, preliminary investigations suggest the explosive device was of a type commonly used in human mining operations. This has led some delegates to speculate that humans are responsible," Theo finished, his stomach tightening in frustration. The suspicion was not unexpected, but it was incredibly inconvenient. "Let's not jump to conclusions," Theo addressed the gathering crowd, his voice calm but firm. "We'll conduct a thorough investigation. Humanity stands for peace, and we would never endorse such an act." Despite his words, whispers of doubt and suspicion spread quickly through the station. Theo knew he needed to act fast to clear humanity's name and salvage the fragile trust he and Lyra had started to build. "Rax 3, coordinate with the security teams. We need access to all surveillance data," Theo instructed. Turning to Lyra, he added, "And we need to keep our allies from jumping ship. Can you manage the diplomatic front?" "Of course," Lyra replied, nodding. "I'll reassure our allies and keep the dialogue open. But Theo, be quick. Fear spreads faster than reason in times like these." Theo spent the next several hours poring over security feeds and collaborating with the station's top security officers. His background in military strategy and his keen analytical mind helped him to quickly identify anomalies in the data. With Dr. Kiv, a scientist from the insectoid Kepri race, Theo examined the remnants of the explosive device found at the scene. Dr. Kiv, known for his expertise in technology and explosives, provided crucial insights. "It's indeed similar to mining explosives used on Earth," Dr. Kiv observed, "but with modifications that suggest a different origin. See here, this component isn't manufactured anywhere within human-controlled sectors." Armed with this information, Theo returned to the council, ready to present his findings. He knew that convincing the council would require more than just technical evidence. It would require restoring their faith in humanity's commitment to peace. As he prepared to speak, Theo steeled himself for the challenge ahead, determined to turn the tide of suspicion and keep his coalition intact. As Theo prepared to present his findings to the council, the atmosphere was tense. Delegates whispered among themselves, casting wary glances in his direction. The suspicion against humanity had set a heavy cloud over the council, and Theo knew that his next words could either dispel it or confirm their worst fears. Before Theo could take the floor, Dr. Kiv approached him with an urgent expression. "Captain Marsden, I've made a breakthrough in the analysis of the explosive residue. I think you should see this before you speak." Theo followed Dr. Kiv to a makeshift lab set up in a nearby conference room. The Kepri scientist had isolated a unique chemical signature in the explosive that was not typical of human technology. "This compound is derived from a rare mineral found only in the Andraxian sector," Dr. Kiv explained, pointing to the glowing data on the screen. "Andraxians. They've been neutral on the Zelthar issue," Theo noted, his mind racing. "Why would they involve themselves in sabotage?" "It's possible someone wants it to appear that way," Dr. Kiv suggested. "Or perhaps there's an unseen player trying to manipulate the council from the shadows." Armed with this new information, Theo felt a renewed sense of purpose. He thanked Dr. Kiv and hurried back to the council chamber. The session was about to resume, and the air was thick with anticipation. "Theo, how did it go?" Lyra whispered as he slid back into his seat beside her. "We've found something significant," he whispered back. "I'll explain during my presentation. Keep an eye on the Andraxian delegates. Their reaction might tell us more." When Theo was called to the floor, he stood with a calm demeanor, though his heart was pounding. "Esteemed delegates," he began, "the recent tragic event at our space dock has raised many concerns. However, I stand before you to present evidence that humanity is not responsible for this act of sabotage." He proceeded to detail the findings, explaining the nature of the explosives and the presence of the Andraxian mineral. As he spoke, he carefully watched the reactions of the delegates, noting the subtle shifts in expression and the whispered consultations. "The implications of this evidence are clear," Theo continued. "There are forces at work here that seek to destabilize our council and pit us against each other. We must not let them succeed. Now, more than ever, we need to stand united and seek the truth together." As Theo concluded, the chamber was silent, the weight of his words settling over the delegates. Then, slowly, applause began to ripple through the room. It was cautious but appreciative, acknowledging Theo's efforts to clear humanity's name and call for unity. After the session, several delegates approached Theo, offering their support and commending his integrity. Even some of the skeptics seemed mollified, if not entirely convinced. Lyra joined him, a small smile playing on her lips. "Well done, Theo. You've not only averted a crisis, but turned it into an opportunity to strengthen our cause." Theo felt a surge of relief and determination. "We've bought some time, but the real work continues. We need to find out who's really behind this and why." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity for Theo and his team. With the Council's mood somewhat stabilized and humanity's position reinforced, Theo saw an opportunity to pivot back to his original peace proposal for Zelthar. However, the mystery of the sabotage lingered, casting a shadow that could not be ignored. Theo spent hours with Dr. Kiv and a selected team of experts from various races, digging deeper into the origins of the sabotage. They expanded their analysis, uncovering a complex web of transactions and communications that traced back to a surprising source, a radical faction within one of the dominant races, the Taraxians, who had traditionally been strong advocates for military intervention. "Their motive seems clear," Dr. Kiv explained as they reviewed the data. "By framing humans and creating chaos, they hope to derail any movement towards peace that would undermine their position and interests on Zelthar." Theo knew that exposing such a powerful group was fraught with risks, but it was necessary to clear the path for a peaceful resolution. "We need to present this carefully to the Council. It's not just about exposing the perpetrators, but ensuring such tactics can't undermine our diplomatic processes in the future." With Lyra's diplomatic guidance, Theo prepared a detailed presentation of their findings. She advised him on the political nuances of accusing a prominent race, ensuring that the focus was on the rogue faction, not the Taraxians as a whole. When the time came to address the Council again, Theo's demeanor was a blend of resolve and diplomacy. "Esteemed members of the Council," he began, standing before the gathered delegates, "our commitment to peace and justice must be unwavering. Today, I bring before you evidence of a plot not just against humanity, but against all who stand for unity and cooperation." Theo carefully laid out the evidence, supported by verified data and corroborated by independent experts. The room was tense, with every delegate hanging on his words. As the implications of his findings sank in, the chamber erupted into murmurs and whispers. A high-ranking member of the Taraxian delegation stood, her expression grave. "We are appalled to learn of this betrayal within our ranks. We denounce these extremists and thank Captain Marsden for his commitment to truth. We will cooperate fully with any investigation and ensure justice is served." Theo's diplomatic tact and careful presentation helped avert a potential backlash against the Taraxians, fostering an atmosphere of collective problem-solving rather than blame. With the immediate crisis addressed, Theo seized the moment to revisit his peace proposal. "Let us not allow the actions of a few to derail the progress we can achieve together. I propose we immediately initiate a pilot project on Zelthar, under joint supervision, to explore and develop its resources responsibly." This time, the response was different. The atmosphere had shifted. The Council members, affected by the recent revelations and impressed by Theo's leadership, were more receptive. Discussions that followed were constructive, with various delegates proposing amendments and additions to Theo's plan, enriching it further. By the end of the session, a preliminary agreement had been drafted, with a majority in favor. It was a significant victory, a testament to Theo's unwavering dedication to his values and vision. As Theo and Lyra left the council chamber, they shared a moment of quiet satisfaction. "Today was a good day for peace," Lyra commented, her eyes reflecting a mix of relief and hope. "Yes, but the real work starts now," Theo replied, looking ahead. "Implementing the agreement and building true cooperation will be our next challenge." Together, they walked back to their quarters, ready to face whatever came next, fortified by their success, and driven by the promise of a peaceful future for Zelthar and the galaxy. With the preliminary agreement in place, Theo focused his energies on the delicate task of fostering real cooperation among the previously warring factions. The pilot project on Zelthar was more than just a resource venture. It was a test of the ability of disparate races to work together towards a common goal. However, as preparations for the joint mission began, old tensions and deep-seated suspicions proved hard to erase. Theo found himself not just managing logistics and strategies, but also mediating conflicts and misunderstandings that threatened to derail the project before it even started. During a crucial assembly convened to finalize the operational details of the Zelthar mission, a heated argument broke out between the Taraxian and the Andraxian delegates, two of the primary stakeholders. Accusations were thrown, dredging up old grievances and suspicions about motives. Theo, realizing the fragility of the peace they had achieved, stepped into the fray with a calm yet firm resolve. This project will not succeed if we carry our old grudges with us onto Zelthar's soil, he declared, addressing the assembly. We have a chance to redefine the future of this galaxy, a future where collaboration outweighs confrontation. The chamber fell silent, the weight of his words hanging in the air. Theo continued, "Let us focus on what unites us, the potential for Zelthar to become a symbol of what we can achieve when we work together." The argument subsided, replaced by a more constructive discussion. Theo's words had reminded them of the bigger picture, and slowly, the delegates began to engage in more productive negotiations. Despite the resolution in the meeting, Theo knew that the true test would come when they were on the ground, managing the planet's resources. He worked closely with Lyra and other allies to set up a series of cultural exchange programs and joint training sessions for the teams that would be working on Zelthar. These initiatives were designed to build trust and foster teamwork among the diverse groups. As the launch date approached, Theo reviewed the final plans with his team. "We've planned as much as we can," he told them, "but be prepared to adapt. The success of this mission depends not just on what we bring to Zelthar, but on what we bring out in each other." The day of the launch arrived, and as the ships prepared to leave the Council's space station for Zelthar, Theo felt a mixture of apprehension and hope. The mission was a gamble, but it was a calculated one, born out of the belief that peace was possible even among the most unlikely allies. Watching the ships disappear into the starlit void, Theo turned to Lyra, who had been his steadfast partner throughout this journey. "No matter what happens next, we've already achieved something remarkable," he said. Lyra nodded, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "Yes, we have. And whatever challenges we face on Zelthar, we'll face them together." The Zelthar mission began under watchful eyes from across the galaxy. Each delegate on the Council kept a close eye on the developments, and Theo, though stationed back at the Council's space station, was in constant communication with the ground teams. The joint team on Zelthar, composed of individuals from multiple races, including Taraxians, Andraxians, and others, faced immediate challenges. Disparities in technology and methodology led to friction, and cultural misunderstandings occasionally disrupted the workflow. Theo, aware that the success of the mission hinged on smooth cooperation, dispatched conflict resolution specialists to the planet, ensuring that any issue was promptly addressed. Several weeks into the mission, a significant breakthrough occurred. The team discovered a new form of biocrystal on Zelthar, capable of storing energy at levels previously deemed unachievable. This discovery was not just scientifically significant. It was also a testament to the benefits of collaborative effort. The news brought a wave of excitement and renewed commitment among the team members, who now saw tangible results from their cooperation. Back at the Council, Theo used this development to further cement his case for peace and shared prosperity. "This discovery is not just a victory for the team on Zelthar, but for all of us," Theo addressed the Council, his voice filled with pride and hope. "It symbolizes what we can achieve when we set aside differences and work together for a common cause." Encouraged by the success, the Council members agreed to expand the project. The agreement outlined a shared governance model for Zelthar, with equitable resource distribution and joint scientific endeavors. It was a detailed and ambitious plan, ensuring that all participating races had a stake in both the responsibilities and the rewards. As the resolution was ratified, Theo felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The corridors of the space station, once a place of subtle tensions and political maneuvering, now buzzed with delegates discussing future collaborations and shared projects. The shift in atmosphere was palpable, and Theo knew that they had turned a critical corner. Meanwhile, on Zelthar, The cooperative spirit grew stronger. The initial teams were soon joined by educators, researchers, and diplomats, transforming the planet into a hub of interstellar cooperation and cultural exchange. The biocrystals became a symbol of their success, used not only in scientific research, but also in various technological applications across the galaxy. Theo visited Zelthar to witness the progress firsthand. Walking through the research facilities and meeting with the diverse teams, he saw the tangible results of the peace he had fought so hard to achieve. Each handshake, each shared project, each cross-cultural training session was a brick in the foundation of a new era of interstellar relations. The success on Zelthar had established a blueprint for peace that many in the galaxy were eager to emulate. Theo, back at the Galactic Council, was now viewed not just as a diplomat from Earth, but as a visionary peacebuilder whose insights and strategies were sought after by many. Alongside Lyra, Theo initiated the Interstellar Harmony Program, IHP, a series of workshops and joint missions designed to foster cooperation and understanding among various planetary systems. Their goal was to replicate the Zelthar model, adapting it to different conflicts and cultural contexts across the galaxy. The first of these initiatives brought together delegates from a cluster of planets long divided by territorial disputes. Theo and Lyra organized a summit on a neutral space station, where these delegates could engage in dialogue, participate in team-building exercises, and share their visions for a cooperative future. Theo opened the summit with a speech that highlighted the achievements on Zelthar. "We stand as witnesses to the power of cooperation," he began. "Zelthar is not just a planet. It's a testament to what we can achieve when we choose to build bridges instead of barriers." The workshops were a mix of practical and theoretical sessions. Theo led discussions on conflict resolution, while Lyra facilitated empathy-building exercises that helped participants appreciate the perspectives and emotions of others. The summit also included technical teams from Zelthar, who presented on how integrated technological efforts had led to advancements in energy storage and environmental conservation. However, building bridges was not without its challenges. Skepticism and old prejudices sometimes surfaced, threatening to undermine the progress. During one heated session, a delegate from a war-torn system openly doubted the sincerity of his rivals. Theo, drawing on his experience, steered the conversation towards shared challenges and mutual interests, gradually easing the tension. "These conflicts have drained our resources and diminished our potential," Theo addressed the room. "Imagine what we could achieve if, instead of fearing each other, we supported each other. The galaxy is rich enough for all of us." As the summit progressed, breakthroughs began to occur. Agreements were reached on several key issues, and plans were made for joint ventures in mining, scientific research, and space exploration. The delegates left the summit with a new sense of hope and commitment to ongoing dialogue. Back on the Galactic Council, Theo's efforts were recognized with an award for diplomatic excellence. During his acceptance speech, Theo reflected on the journey. "This honor belongs not just to me, but to all who have dared to dream of peace. Together, we are rewriting the stars, proving that humanity's legacy will be one of unity and compassion." With each successful initiative, the IHP gained momentum, attracting more systems to its cause. Theo's role evolved. He became a mentor to a new generation of diplomats, sharing his experiences and the lessons learned about the power of uniquely human traits in diplomacy. As he trained these new diplomats, Theo emphasized the importance of patience, empathy, and creativity in solving interstellar conflicts. "Peace is not a one-time achievement, but a continuous journey," he often said. "Every step we take together makes the path easier for those who follow." The impact of the Interstellar Harmony Program was beginning to reshape interstellar relations. As peaceful collaborations replaced old rivalries, Theo watched with pride as his vision continued to manifest across the galaxy. His efforts, once considered overly ambitious by many, were now hailed as a cornerstone of galactic diplomacy. As Earth's representative, Theo was invited back to Earth to share his experiences and insights at a global summit focused on expanding Earth's role in interstellar diplomacy. The summit, attended by world leaders, scholars, and diplomats from around the world, was buzzing with anticipation as Theo prepared to speak about the lessons learned from the Zelthar project and subsequent initiatives. Standing at the podium in a large auditorium filled with attentive faces, Theo felt a surge of responsibility. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his voice echoing slightly in the vast space, "our journey into the stars has taught us invaluable lessons about cooperation, respect, and the pursuit of common goals." He shared stories from Zelthar and other systems where joint ventures had not only prevented conflicts, but had also led to unforeseen economic and scientific benefits. These successes were not achieved by technological might alone, but through empathy, understanding, and the uniquely human ability to reach across differences and find harmony. The audience listened intently, moved by the examples of real change happening in the far reaches of space, changes driven by principles that were deeply human. Following his speech, Theo participated in panel discussions, helped outline strategies for future diplomatic training, and met with young diplomats eager to join Earth's growing interstellar mission. The enthusiasm and optimism were palpable, and Theo felt a profound connection to this new generation, inspired by their eagerness to contribute to a peaceful galaxy. Back on the space station, Theo's return was celebrated by his colleagues and friends, including Lyra, who had been managing the day-to-day affairs of the IHP in his absence. "The summit was a success then?" she asked, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. "It was," Theo confirmed, "and it's clearer than ever that Earth has much to offer and much to gain from participating in galactic affairs. Our voice is not just heard, it's valued." With the success of the IHP and the growing involvement of Earth in galactic diplomacy, Theo and his team initiated several new projects aimed at enhancing interstellar infrastructure, from transportation networks to communication systems, ensuring that all member planets could participate fully in Council affairs. Theo's role increasingly involved mentoring and oversight, guiding projects and diplomatic missions with the wisdom gained from his experiences. His belief in diplomacy and cooperation had become a guiding light for many, influencing not just tactics, but the fundamental approach to interstellar relations. As peace took root in previously conflicted zones, Theo sometimes found himself staring out at the stars from his office on the space station, reflecting on the journey. Each star seemed to represent a possibility, a story of conflict turned to collaboration, and a reminder of the enduring power of diplomacy. "The new dawn we're witnessing is not just for Zelthar or any single system," Theo mused during a conference call with interstellar diplomats. "It's a dawn for all of us, across galaxies. Let's ensure this light reaches every corner of our universe." Theo's dedication had indeed sparked a significant shift in galactic politics, proving that even in a universe of vast differences and ancient conflicts, the uniquely human traits of hope, empathy, and resilience could usher in an era of enduring peace.